From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, September the 12th, 2019. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in Russia today, meeting in the beach resort city of Sochi with Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, and later today with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Netanyahu wrote earlier on social media that the trip is meant to reinforce the coordination between Israel and Russia in Syria, tweeting, "This trip is designed to continue this important cooperation, which prevents collisions between us and the Russian forces, and to continue to advance the common goal that we agree on, which has yet to be achieved and is far from being achieved, the withdrawal of Iran from Syria." Israel strongly rejected a report that claimed it may have been spying on the White House. Politico reported, citing former senior U.S. officials, that the U.S. government concluded within the last 2 years that Israel was most likely behind the placement of cell phone surveillance found near the White House and other locations. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office called the report's claims a blatant lie, saying there is a long-standing commitment and a directive from the Israeli government not to engage in any intelligence operations in the U.S. This directive is strictly enforced without exception. Facebook temporarily suspended Netanyahu's Likud campaign's chat box for violating its hate speech policy. According to Haaretz, the bot issued a message during a chat yesterday on the Prime Minister's official Facebook page, saying that voters needed to prevent a, quote, secular left-wing weak government that relies on Arabs who want to destroy us all, women, children, and men, unquote. Facebook Israel said after careful review, it temporarily suspended the bot for 24 hours. Likud told Haaretz that the message was an error made by someone on its staff and that it was not seen by Netanyahu. 2 suspects were arrested yesterday for allegedly assaulting 2 Israeli students in Warsaw this past weekend. The Israelis are studying abroad in the Polish capital and were leaving a nightclub early Saturday morning when they were approached by whom they described as Arabic speakers, who asked them if they were Israeli, and when they said they were, the assailants began hurling anti-Israel insults at them and beating them. The Israelis are now recovering from multiple injuries. Yesterday, local police arrested 2 Dutch citizens of Armenian descent and are still looking for a 3rd man who is said to be Palestinian. The FBI arrested a man in Florida on Friday who threatened violence against Jews and a local synagogue. The Miami Herald reported that the 25-year-old who issued the threats via text messages to a friend on his cell phone was denied bail when he appeared in court yesterday. The Foundation for Jewish Heritage announced their purchase of an old Victorian synagogue to turn it into a Jewish museum. The Merthyr Tydfil Synagogue was built in 1872 in Wales. It has been out of commission as a synagogue since 1983 and has fallen into great disrepair. The foundation plans to create the first major museum of the history of the Jews of Wales in the structure. The Secretary General of the United Nations today unveiled a plan of action to safeguard religious institutions. Antonio Guterres spoke of the painful rise of intolerance, mentioning recent attacks on Muslims in mosques, Christians in churches, and on Jews in synagogues, which he called war crimes. He said the best way to overcome the threat of violence based on unacceptable forms of manipulation of religion and belief is by uniting our voices for good, countering messages of hate with messages of peace, embracing diversity as a richness, not a threat, investing in social cohesion and protecting human rights. Israel's national baseball team is one step closer to their Olympic dreams. The team made it into the quarterfinals of the European Baseball Championship in Germany this week, which is an early qualifying event for next year's Tokyo Games. They will face France tomorrow in a round robin from which the top 5 teams will advance to the World Baseball Softball Confederation Olympic Qualifier Europe-Africa Tournament in Parma, Italy. The winner of that tournament will get a bid to the Olympics. Team Israel includes many American Jewish players like Danny Valencia, who played for the Minnesota Twins, the Baltimore Orioles, and the Boston Red Sox, among others. Well-known food bloggers and Instagrammers are tasting their way through Israel this week in a special food tour led by nonprofit Vibe Israel. The Jerusalem Post reports that Diala Canelo and Rachel Yerkes are among the foodies experiencing Israel in this unique way. Vibe founder and CEO Joanna Landau told the Post that food is a wonderful way to showcase what Israel has to offer. Vibe Israel aims to energize and inspire the next generation about the country. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, September the 12th. At 7 o'clock, it's Talmud Study. At 8, Everyday Jewish Heroes are honored at the 2017 National Conference of the Jewish National Fund. At 9, it's part 2 of Mark Golub's L'chaim interview with Hadar Institute Dean and founder Shai Held. At 10, an encore presentation of the season finale of the Jake Ehrenreich Show. And coming up right after this newscast, it's Innovation Israel. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, September the 12th, 2019. I'm Teisha Bader.